Hello and welcome to this new video. In this video, we will learn how to create this basic model in Siemens NX. Okay. Now this is the isometric view of this model, and as you can see, all the measurements are given on the model itself. So there is no confusion of reading the views, that is front, top, right views, so that we can totally concentrate on basically making this model. Okay. Now, as you can see over here, this zigzag lines are just the representation that it's a circular surface. Okay, there is no other meaning for this zigzag line in this particular diagram. Okay. Now, let us see this model for a moment. Okay, so if you are new to NX, I would like to welcome you to my channel, and I hope you can, see some tutorials over here, and you can become more efficient in NX. And if you are already an old user, then I hope you will like this video because you are returning to this particular video. So here we have this particular model, okay, and this is on page 77 of my PDF. So I have a lot of model down here, okay, on the top and on the bottom. So okay, I'll be using this model for now as an example. So it's on page 77 of this PDF. You can take a screenshot of this model, okay, if you want to, and then you can follow along. Now, first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to start a new file in NX. Now, it can be any version of NX you will be using. Okay, you might be using NX11, NX12, or any other version. Okay, so that will also work. So no problem in that. Anything higher than NX12 will work, and you can follow along. So first of all, make sure an NX is started, and then click on New to create a new part file. Now, first, after clicking on New, we need to define two parameters. That is what we are going to do. We are going to do modeling. What will be the names? Let's say I will name it as page 77. And where we are going to save it. So let's say I'm going to save it in this location. So I want to save it in D drive YouTube tutorials of CATCube 360, and there's a folder called NX, and I want to save it there. Okay, so I'll click OK, and I have defined the location where I want to save it. This thing can be totally customized based on your preference and your need. So I'm just saving it. I'm just saving this page 77 diagram in this location. Okay, so you can define your own name and you can define your own location based on your preference and your need. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click OK, and then a new part file will begin. Now let us see this model and understand how we are going to model it out. As you can see, the bottom length is of 90, sides are at an angle. We don't know the angle, but we happen to know the diameter of this circular portion, that is 40. Okay, we can also see the height of this part. This part is 40 and this part is 10, making the total height of this model as 50. Okay, so I'll just draw it out. I'll just draw the circle around this part. So this is 40, this is 10, so total height is going to be 50. We can see pi over here. Similarly, pi on the other side would also be there because it's a isometric model, and I can see this line over here, correct? So the total length of this particular part on the top, diameter of 40 plus 5 mm here plus 5 mm there, the total length is going to be 50. So I happen to know all the parameters which are required to make the front view. So what we are going to do is we are going to click on sketch. Okay, and let's just see one more thing over here. This is my x direction. This is the direction in which my x axis is going to be. This is going to be my y axis. Okay, so this is going to be my y-axis, and here it should go on the top, and that should be my z-axis. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create a sketch on the YZ plane. So after you click on the sketch command, you're going to select the YZ plane, or if you're using a newer version, you have to select the right plane. Okay, the right plane or the YZ plane. So once you select the YZ plane, you can click OK, and you can see the sketch view will look somewhat like this. Now, once you have the sketch view, then activate the profile command. Okay, activate the profile command. I guess it might be already active because whenever you start a new sketch, the profile commands get automatically active. Then create a simple line like this, one slant line, again one horizontal line, and one slant line to close it all off. So here I have created a simple trapezoid shape. Okay, so we have created a horizontal line in the bottom, a horizontal line in the top, and two slants line on either side. Let us make both the slant line equal to each other. To do so, I'm going to make sure not even a single command is active. You can press the escape button on your keyboard, the first key of your keyboard, that is the escape button of your keyboard. Now, once you press the escape button, then select the line, the first slant line. Make sure while making a selection, you don't end up selecting the endpoint or the midpoint. Just select the line and select the other line as well. And don't move your cursor. keep your mouse stationary after selection for at least couple of seconds. Okay, so see, first click, second click, and then keep your mouse stationary, and you will find here an option called equal. So once you click on this option called equal length, then you can see both the line will become equal in length. Now what I also want is I want to give some parameters to this shape. So I can click on rapid dimension here, this dimensioning command. Now once I'm in rapid dimension, I can then define the length of the bottom as 90, as we all know. Okay, this object scaling may change, so be aware. Okay, just define the bottom length as 90, the top line length as 50. So I'm defining the top line length as 50, and the overall height between these two lines is going to be 50. Okay, so these three dimensions I have defined so far: the top line length of 50, the bottom line length of 90, and the overall height of 50. Now once you define this overall dimension, what I want you to do is I want my object to be placed centrally, or the bottom center to be placed on the origin. So how we are going to do it? I'm going to click. First of all, I'll press escape. Okay, make sure you have to press escape so that nothing is selected after all. Then click in the midpoint of the bottom horizontal line. Click and select the midpoint of the bottom horizontal line. After selecting the midpoint, click and select the origin. Okay, click and select the origin. Don't move the mouse for a few seconds, and you will find this option here called coincident. Okay, so again I'll repeat. See, click and select the midpoint, click and select the origin, and click on this option called coincident, and this will appear once you wait after second click for a few seconds. Now once you do that, your sketch will be fully constrained. Okay, so ensure before continuing to the next step, your sketch is fully constrained. You can pause the video here and make sure you do this steps accordingly. Now once you have a fully constrained sketch, okay, you can click on finish, and my sketch is now done, and I can see there is a sketch in the tree. So I have sketch 1 in the tree, which is also named as sketch underscore 000. Okay, so this is my first sketch. Now I need to figure out how much I have to extrude this sketch. So as we can see, I have to extrude this sketch with a length of 50. Okay, so that I can create the entire part. You might be wondering why I'm creating the entire part, even this material and this material is not there. We can put a cut later on. Okay, for now I'll create the entire part. So I'll select the sketch, I'll click on extrude. Now once I click on extrude, I have to define a start value of 0 and the end value of 50. I have to define a start value of 0 and the end value of 50. Now once you define these two values, the start value of 0 and value of 50, this is how the model is going to look. So you can see the model is coming in the x-axis direction. Okay, now I'll click OK, and this particular part or this particular model so far is ready. Okay, I hope you all are understanding, and I hope you all are doing well. You can use the comment section if you have any doubts or any queries. I am answering all the comments by myself personally. If you want to learn something new as well, you can definitely use the comment section and comment there, because I want new ideas to create different videos and different topics in the next. Now, next thing what I want you to do is I want us to create a sketch on this topmost face. Okay, so what we're going to do for that, we are going to first activate the sketch command. So we are going to click on sketch. We are going to first activate the sketch command. Then for the selection of a plane, we are going to select the top face. Okay, for the selection of the plane, we are going to select the top face, and I'm going to click OK after that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two rectangles here. So I'm going to create a corner rectangle, one like this, a smaller one, and make sure you don't click on midpoint for now. Second one like this, a bigger one. Okay, so you can see I have created two rectangles like this. The length of the rectangle which is behind, okay, the length of that rectangle will be 10, and the gap between the rectangles will be 15, as we can see the dimensions here. Okay, so this one is going to be 10, this one is going to be 15. Okay, I'll just erase all the mock-ups so that it is clean for us to see. Okay, so again, the length for the backside rectangle is going to be 10, and the front gap between the two rectangles is going to be 15. So here I'm going to define a gap of length of 10, and the gap between these two lines as 15. Okay, once we have completed this definition, we can click on finish. Okay, we can click on finish, and then we can use the extrude command. Okay, so here I'm using the extrude command to create a cut. Now, what will happen whenever you start an extrude command? It will by default go upwards. It will go in this direction. So you can see in extrude, there is an area called direction. And in this direction area, there is this option called specify vector. And next to specify vector, you have this flip button or the reverse direction button. You can click on that reverse direction button and it will start going down. Okay. So if you want, you can click again, it will go up. If you click, it will go down. Now the start distance is gonna be 0 and the end distance is gonna be 40. Okay, why 40? Because here in the PDF you can notice this particular part is 40. Okay, and we have to keep the remainder of 10 in the bottom. So that's why this particular distance is going to be 40. And here in Boolean, we are going to select subtract. Okay, in Boolean, we are going to select subtract. Once you have done all these three things, that is specifying the direction, specifying the limits, and choosing the Boolean operation correctly, we can click OK. So now we can notice we have two sketches. Okay, and both the sketches are created perfectly, and we have some portion of the model already ready. Now, next portion of the model, let's say I want to concentrate on making this circle. Okay, now this circle is of diameter 40. I'll just use erase to get rid of all this. This circle is diameter 40. So let us try to make that circle. And I have to decide where to make that circle. Okay, so I can notice that the circle is starting from this backside face and it's going forward with a distance of 40. Okay, so here we have a distance of 40 and it's starting from this backside face over here and it's going all the way front and it is going with the value of 40. So what we're going to do now is, here in NX, I'm going to rotate my model so that I can see the backside face. Ensure that after rotating your model looks straight like this, it should be straight like this, as straight as possible. Don't keep it like this. Don't keep it at an angle. Okay, keep it as straight as possible. I'll tell you the reason why in just a moment. But for all of us, make sure the model is straight like this. Then I'll click on sketch. Okay, you have to activate the sketch command. Now, if I highlight, you can see the XYZ here. Okay, if you highlight, you can see the XYZ is also coming straight. What if the model is tilted? Let's say if your model happens to be tilted, your XYZ will also come tilted. Okay, and that is I don't want. That is what I don't want. Okay, so make sure your model is straight. And before you click, you can see the XYZ straight and then click. Okay, so click on this face to create a sketch and then click OK. Now the sketch over here is fairly easy. So I'm going to create a circle. So I'm going to activate a circle and I'm going to create a circle exactly at the origin. So, on top of the origin in the midpoint over here. I'm going to create a circle like this and the circle diameter will be 40. Either you can enter the diameter right away while creating the circle, or else you can use the rapid dimension command later on to define the diameter to your circle. Now, once you have created a circle with a given diameter of 40, you can notice your sketch is fully constrained because your circle is placed perfectly in the midpoint of this top horizontal line. I can hit finish and then I can hit extrude. Now, once I hit extrude, I can notice one thing, the extrude is coming this side. Where I want the extrude to go, other side. Now, if you remember from the previous extrude, what we need to do, we need to click on this arrows, okay, to change the direction. So I'll change the direction like this. Now, in this condition, the length is going to be same, that is 0 and 40, okay, but the Boolean will change to unite. Okay, but the Boolean will now change to unite. It will not be subtract, it will now change to unite. Okay, so the direction is what we need to define first. It should go on other side towards this bigger rectangle. Then distance is going to be 40 and the Boolean is going to be unite and you can click OK. And this is how the circle is going to look. Okay, so I hope everyone has completed till this part. Now what we are going to do next is I want to create the cut here in the center. So let us see the parameters of this cut. So I can clearly see or notice the height of this cut is 16 and it is through, in this direction. And the depth of the cut is going to be 12. So what I'm going to do is, here in NX, okay, I'm going to select this front face and I'm going to create a sketch. Now before I select that face, make sure you orient the object properly. You can see the front face like this properly, like the way you did last time. Okay, now click on sketch. Click on sketch, select this face, the front face, and click OK. You can follow the exact same steps in any other software if you wish to or if you like to. Now here I'm using the center rectangle option. Okay, so rectangle from the center, and I'm creating a rectangle like this. Now I'm defining the length of my rectangle. The length of the rectangle can be any value because it is going to be through, so I'm keeping it 100 for now. Usually we don't do it like this, we create a proper shape, but for now, for this example, this will be totally fine. So I'm going to keep the value of length as 100 and the value of width will be 16. Why 16? We'll again see the values here. You can notice this height of this cut is going to be 16. So that's why I've kept the value of this height as 16. Now once you define that, I can click on close. Okay, then I can click on finish. And you can see this rectangle is ready. Okay, and it is exactly on the front face. Now what I want you to do is I want you to create a cut which is going deep with a value of 12. You already have done a lot of things now, so you can try by yourself. You can pause the video here and you can try to create the cut by yourself. For those who want to create the cut with me, you can click on extrude. Make sure you change the direction first, then you change the value, so starting value of 0, ending value of 12, and then you change the boolean to subtract. Okay, so these three things, if you keep in mind whenever you are creating an extrude, that will help you a lot in terms of getting the model done. Okay, so I'll click OK for now, and you can see the cut is ready. Now once the cut is ready, what I can do now is I can now make the last or the final part of this model, that is creating a length of 19 and the width of 12, and that will go all the way up to the circle. So this particular part is what I have to make next. Okay, for doing that, I'll again create a sketch. So all of you click on sketch. This time I'm going to create a sketch on this face, the bottom face, and I'm going to click OK. Now, I'll not create a sketch exactly on the location I require. I'll just activate with the rectangle command or corner rectangle command. I'll create it anywhere like this, and I'll give it proper dimensions first. That is the width of 12 and the length of 19. Okay, using rapid dimensions, you can give these dimensions because you are already aware now. So okay, so width of 12 and the length of 19. Now placing this rectangle properly is the most important part. I can see this line here. Okay, so I can pick this point, the center point of this line. This is from a previous sketch, so I have not hide any sketches for now. Okay, so this is from a previous sketch, so I'm going to pick this point. I'm going to pick this midpoint here of length 12, and I'm going to use the coincident constraint like the way we did for the first sketch. The same thing we are going to do it again. Okay, so it will give you a good practice of how to do this stuff again and again. Now this will be 12 and this will be 19, and then you have to click on finish to finish your sketch. Now once you finish your sketch, you can click on extrude to create an extrude here. This time in place of end value, we are going to select until next, and here in place of boolean, we are going to select unite. Okay, so here in end, in place of value, we are going to select until next. So extrude will go up to the next phase, and here in boolean, we are going to select unite. Now once I click OK, this is how the model is going to look. Now I don't want to see all these sketches I have made to create this model. I want to hide all the sketches, and you can see there are a lot of them inside the tree. In total there are 5 sketches, so I want to hide each one of them. One thing I can do is I can right click on each one of them and I can choose hide, but that will take a while to do. Okay, it will take a while. So you can comment in the comment section below. You can pause the video here. Which command should I use to hide all the sketches at once? Okay, so if you are aware about this command, please comment in the comment section below. Which command should I use to hide all the sketches at once? Okay, so now I'll tell you. The command you have to use is you have to press Ctrl W. Okay, we have to press Ctrl W. Okay, after Q you have the second alphabet, that is W. So Ctrl W, and this is the show and hide dialog box. In this show and hide dialog box, in front of sketch, you can click on hide. Okay, in front of sketches, you can click on hide, and that will hide all your sketches. Okay, at once. And similarly, there are a lot many options here. You can play with this, and you can understand what each option does. Okay, so I hope you understood this particular part. I hope you understood how to make this particular part. If you do so, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, that will help me a lot in terms of creating new content and making new videos. Okay, and thank you very much. Have a great day ahead. Happy learning.